Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all doing well. I have a pick a card reading today, and this is one that I have been actually postponing since June. I wanted to do this around Father's Day, but I was moving and there were other things that had gotten in the way of that. But here we are. So today's reading is going to be healing the father wound, everything that you need to know about healing your father wound. We have 3 piles to choose from. Pile 1 is going to be fear. Pile 2 is going to be remothering. And then pile 3 is going to be ritual. So take a moment to choose your pile. I'll give you guys a few seconds and then I will see you in your timestamp reading below. I did want to leave a disclaimer though before I forget that this reading may be highly triggering to some people depending on what comes through in the reading. So if you know for a fact that you're not in a headspace to work through this or to work through your trauma related to your father, if you're not ready to hear certain things that might come through, then maybe don't watch this reading. But if you know that you're ready to watch this, and if you clicked on this video, then I feel like you're ready. So yeah, just wanted to put that out there. Go ahead and pick your pile and I will see you in your timestamp reading below. Bye. Hey pile 1, if you guys have chosen fear, this is going to be your reading on how to heal your father wound. So I'm getting right away that obviously with the fear coming through here, some of you guys could have been like literally afraid of your father. Your father could have been very like angry or he had a lot of emotional outbursts. I'm kind of seeing this as like ice, like icy glass. So some of you could have felt that your father was very like cold emotionally and then like the only emotion that he was able to express was anger. So I'm getting this like energy of you guys not knowing what to expect from your father and feeling very afraid of him. I'm going to go ahead and read what this specific card has to say for you guys, and then I'll lay out the rest of your oracle cards. Okay. So we have, the letters are way too tiny. I'm just going to hold it down here. So it says, this card encourages you to stare at what scares you, to grab a spotlight and shine it directly on what you fear, analyzing its shape and texture. What you find in the darkness will likely be uncomfortable. This card asks you to not let your fears guide your decisions. Knowing which thoughts are fear-based is the first step in not letting your fear govern you. Fear is often mistaken for intuition and can keep us from life. Intuition and fear are closely related but are not the same. Without understanding our fears, we will not be able to know our truest intuitive self fully. So yeah, there is this energy of maybe for some of you guys, you could have like seen your father be a certain way, right? Like maybe he instilled a lot of fear into you when it comes to the outside world or when it comes to accomplishing certain things, and maybe you kind of took on his projection when it comes to his viewpoint of the world, the viewpoint of society. I'm also getting that some of you guys could definitely be afraid to tap into the memories that you have of your father because maybe, like I said, there's a lot of things that may have happened that have scared you, and maybe you're not entirely ready to look at it. But this is definitely talking about that there could have been a time in your childhood where your fear took over your intuition because of the way that your father treated you. It's almost like you were taught to not follow your intuition, and then you kind of just learned to take on a projected fear-based type of mentality. Yeah, some of you guys can definitely still have a hard time trusting your intuition at this time because of this. I'm getting this energy of like, if my intuition is real, then why is this happening? I don't know why I'm getting that. If my intuition is real, then why is this happening? Something could have went down that was very traumatizing for you involving your father, and it's almost like your intuition was just shut off. Your intuition was shut off because you felt like your reality was not aligning with something that you felt was supposed to happen or something that you felt was righteous for you. Some of you guys, I'm getting that you could have been shut out by your father as well. You could have been pushed away at a certain age where you were not able to connect with him, where it's almost like, it's not like you guys were separated, but it's almost like he was still around, but he just closed off on you. He purposely pushed you away from him emotionally. And it could have been because of something he was going through, definitely. It's always because of something that our parents are going through. It's never really the child's fault. Very rarely that is the case. For some of you, your father could have had a substance abuse problem. Definitely alcoholism is what I'm picking up on. Or he could have had some sort of emotional I don't know why I want to say emotional misalignment, but he could have had like a personality disorder or a mood disorder that he did not diagnose, or he was undiagnosed. So it led to alcoholism. So let's go ahead and lay your cards out, the rest of them. So we have the Waterfall, inner power, unbridled confidence, claiming your place. I'm seeing someone like huddled in the corner, like crying and shaking. Your father could have been physically abusive towards you, like not only mentally and emotionally, but he could have been physically abusive to you, where there was this, I'm seeing like the solar plexus energy was like dimmed in you. He took away your inner power. He took away your authenticity, your confidence. There was something here that he shut down within you because of the way that he treated you. And I feel like to this day, it could still be difficult for you to take up space. It could be difficult for you to speak your mind. We have shine. Yeah, beautiful. I was literally saying solar plexus. Now we have yellow. So it says the time is right for you to spread your wings and soar. You have something valuable to share. Bring forth your greatest contribution. Step into your fullest potential. Show the world the real you. Reach out and shine. The universe supports your growth. Your father could have told you things like you're never going to be successful, or you're never going to be anybody. You're never going to be accomplished. You're nobody. Like he could have literally just shot on your entire existence. Where he really just shut down. Like I'm seeing someone just like go from like this radiant light to like their light dying, and then they kind of just close up and they're just sitting alone, like huddled in the corner is kind of what it's showing me. It's like over time he just killed the light within you. We have today, I will release the things that do not serve me. I am closer to my destiny. I feel like you guys are being asked to release not only like I'm hearing like the failure of the relationship with your father, but also the fear that he could have instilled in you that is not yours to carry. We have perception. Yeah, you guys, it's like exactly, you're being shown a different way of seeing things. I feel like now that you guys are adults now, there's this new way that you're looking at things, and you're kind of, which is a very difficult process to go through, and it takes a lot of maturity. But it's like you're seeing your father for the broken person that he is, for the human that he is, besides, like you're seeing past his position as your father, right? You're seeing him as someone who has also gone through trials and tribulations in life where he decided to become a certain type of person because of that, and you're seeing that now. I'm just making more space because I have another card to lay out here. I feel like you guys, there's something here with this emerald as well. There could have been something, like for a lot of you guys, I'm hearing like your father didn't teach you anything about life. The only thing he taught you is how you don't want to be and who you don't want to become. So even this emerald coming through here, it's like you could still take that away from the relationship with your father. Even though you might not feel close to him or he didn't really do much for you, you could still see the point of view and the perspective he gave you when it comes to being the person that you want to be and who you don't want to be. So there were many qualities that he showed you that you now know that you don't want to be like that. And if you're a man watching this, it's like you ultimately now know what a man means being to you personally. It's almost like you're not really taking on your father's role or projection when it comes to just the way that he was as a person, but you're kind of being the adversary of that. If he was very angry and addictive and fearful, like you're becoming the opposite way. You want to be the totally opposite way because you don't want to be the way that he was. So it was almost just like this very traumatic experience where you just learned, like, I don't want to be like that. And if you're a woman, it's almost like, going back to what I was saying, you're seeing your father as a wounded human being, and you're kind of just taking the lessons that he taught you when it comes to what you deserve in a partner. Yeah, so like this is especially if you're a woman and you're into men, or if you're a man and you're into women, it's like it really taught you how to be a partner, like how to be a husband, a wife, a partner, because you know what you deserve and you know how you shouldn't act and what you should be receiving from your partner. Yeah, I'm hearing like you got a first-hand glimpse at what you don't want. We have seduction here, Jupiter and Pisces. For someone here, there could have been this energy of like SA, I don't even know if I can say that on here, sexual assault, or just boundaries were crossed with your father when it came to like intimate energies, or like, yeah, I don't know how to get into that here. But there could have been something here where, especially if you are a girl, if you're a woman, your father could have done something to you, or something could have happened here that kind of tainted your perspective of men, or tainted your perspective of your father specifically, but then it kind of turned into this trauma that you have with men, because maybe it's been very hard for you to get close to men because of something that you experienced with your father. There's definitely something here about like boundaries being crossed when it comes to, I don't even know what I can say on here again, but it's like when it comes to the human body, when it comes to your own space, when it comes to physical touch and things like that. For some of you, your father could have been like, yeah, I don't know, this is kind of weird to say, but he could have been attracted to you in some way. Even if you're a man, like even if you were a little boy, like there could have been just something off about the connection with your father. I didn't even mention like another parent in the picture. So for some of you, you could have had a single dad. Like it could have been just you and your father. Because I'm not really feeling a mother figure in this. And if she was around, maybe they were separated, or she was just also treated the way that you were. So she was almost like beaten down to a pulp where she couldn't really do anything about the situation. So someone here could have definitely been like harassed or assaulted by their father in that way. Or you could have seen your father as like someone who was a cheater, or someone who kind of used his charm to get into things or get his way. Your father could have been like, I know it sounds weird to say, but like your father could have been attractive. Like he could have been a handsome person. But there was just something about like a distorted view of sexuality here when it comes to your father. Something that he kind of projected onto you as well, that I feel like you guys have been healing through. I feel like you guys, again, you're just learning how to take up space again. You're learning how to be yourself. I'm also seeing like with this girl on the perception card, I don't know why I'm getting that maybe you were taught to cover up your body because of the way that your father looked at you or treated you. And I'm seeing in the seduction card that she is nude for the most part. I mean, she is. So there could have been something here that you learned about, like just being ashamed of yourself, being ashamed of your body, being ashamed of your uniqueness, your attractiveness, your good looks, especially if you're a woman. I feel like he taught you to be ashamed of how you look. So you just covered everything up to kind of counteract that fear and shame that he instilled into you. Okay, so what I want to do now is get some tarot cards to kind of expand on this message for you guys, see if there's anything else that you need to hear regarding this. Hangman. There's a lot of Pisces energy here. So your dad could have been a Pisces, or you're a Pisces. We have with the Jupiter in Pisces seduction, we have the Hangman. I'm also getting very strong Leo energy, very strong Leo and Pisces. Hangman Emperor. I'm hearing like leave him where he's at. He's never going to change is what I'm hearing. Your father could have been a very just, you know, like those typical like macho men, right? Like he portrayed himself to be this macho man, but in reality, he had a bunch of addictions and bad habits because he had a distorted view of the masculine, because maybe he had a very difficult time with his father as well. Maybe his father wasn't in the picture. There's just like this storyline of trauma being passed down, and him enacting the same way that his father was, or whatever father figure that he had. Queen of Swords. I feel like this is your energy. Maybe now, if you still are in touch with your father, you're not really emotionally connected to him, but you will speak to him on like a need-to basis, or you just have like a very intellectual connection with him, if that is the case. There's something here about like you just knowing that he's not going to change, and knowing that he's never going to maybe see a different version of you or a different version of himself. This father definitely seems to be very fixed in his ways. And again, I'm just getting like a substance abuse problem, or like he's just very much stuck in his ways. Like there's a mentality here that he cannot break out of, whether it's fear, addiction, whatever it may be. Yeah. 7 of Wands, Page of Pentacles. Again, it's like you only connect to your father if you need to, I feel. For others of you, you're not in communication with your father. What does Pile 1 need to hear? 4 of Wands, 10 of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles. Yeah, exactly. So it's again, this energy of the Hermit, right? It's like not taking on the projections that he taught you. Not taking on his fear, maybe not taking on his portrayal of what it means to be the man of the household, but you guys are taking on your own form of that. You guys are building your own family in your own ways. So some of you guys could definitely be married, you could have children. Maybe this is something that you really want and you know that you want to do things a different way. I feel like you guys are looking at this from a very mature perspective. So I feel like you guys have definitely healed at least some of this. I don't feel like you guys are unhealed. I feel like you're actually well on your way to healing the connection that you have with your father and even just forgiving him. We have the Page of Cups. Yeah, so some of you guys even do have kids. Ace of Pentacles. I'm getting that some of you guys wish or want the connection with your father to be healed enough so that way he can be around your children. Ace of Pentacles, Five of Cups, Knight of Wands. Some of you guys feel, though, that he is too unstable. I'm definitely getting this. It's a very weird energy because it's like he portrays himself to be like this very controlling, domineering father figure, but like deep down he's very unstable and he's very like skittish. He doesn't really have any stability within himself, and I feel like you can sense that. What does pile 1 need to hear regarding healing their father wound? Ace of Pentacles, Page of Swords. I really feel like some of you guys want to give him another chance. I really feel like some of you guys do. I do see a lot of love here for your father. You still feel like you care about him a lot and you really want to see him change. You want to see him grow. The Fool. Some of you guys are very hopeful. Some of you guys are very hopeful for this. I don't feel like you have completely given up on him. There's still a part of you that like wants things to get better, wants the relationship to get better. You want him to be able to know your children is what I keep getting. Some of you guys could have 2 kids. You could have a son and a daughter. You could have 2 daughters. Or maybe you're supposed to have 2 children. These are like spirit babies. And this is like a sign that they are with you. And actually, why can't I fucking talk? I'm seeing 3 kids here. So I'm either seeing 2 girls or 2 girls and 1 boy. And I'm getting this very strong energy. Like some of you guys could be single moms, but that's not the case for everybody here. Or single dads. I'm definitely getting a feminine energy though. Like right now in this specific part of the reading, I feel like you could be a feminine energy or a woman, a mother. And you really want your father to get to know your kids. That just keeps very, like it keeps coming through very strongly. And you have a very hopeful vision for the future for your dad. 10 of Wands, 7 of Swords, the Chariot. Some of you guys feel like there's a long way to go though. Some of you guys feel like your dad like turns away from healing, or he just has too much going on, or you have too much going on, or there's just this energy of not being sure where things are going to take you, but you still have this hope that your children will get to know their grandfather. I don't know why I keep getting that energy. You're very hopeful. I feel like you have a very positive outlook, like I said. I feel like you guys are very mature. Or you're kind of looking at this, like I said, from a very mature viewpoint. Is there any advice that I can give to pile 1 regarding their father wound? King of Swords, 2 of Cups, and the Strength card. I feel like there's hope here. Knight of Cups. There's a lot of hope here when it comes to your connection with your dad. For whatever reason, it's almost like it started off as in your childhood. It started off like very bad, but it kind of feels like as you've gotten older, the connection kind of simmered down a little bit. Or he just treats you differently, or you just see things differently. But there's just this very prominent energy here of like, I can definitely see down the line that you two can mend your relationship as long as you are patient and as long as he works through what he needs to work through. I do see it working out very well, where you could have a balanced connection with your father where there are healthy boundaries, because I do see that you definitely care about him. And not to say that he doesn't care about you, but I'm really seeing more so that he's so wounded that he more so is like self-focused. He doesn't really have the energy to feel or think for anyone outside of him, which is kind of a weird energy. But he's a very wounded person, and I feel like you are his teacher in some way. You are way more mature than he is when it comes to your emotions, and there's just this very strong hope that you have for the future, and I feel like it could work out. It could definitely work out down the line. I don't really feel like I need to give any advice for healing here, because I feel like you guys already know what you're doing. I feel like you've already gone through the process of maybe like going no contact with your dad, starting over, and like now you've just gotten to this point where I think I want my dad in my life. So like you've gone through the motions already. You're just trying to figure out how to do things, and it's almost like the ball falls in his court. He needs to be the one to step up and meet you halfway in some sense, because I feel like you are more than willing to meet him halfway. Your door is open for him, I'm getting as well. Like if he wants to get better, if he wants to be a better person, your door is always going to be open for him. But not in like an illogical sense. You guys are very, like I said, balanced. Like you're not naive about the situation. You're not expecting too much out of the situation, but at the same time, the door is open for him to come back or to connect with you if he wants to. So this is what I'm seeing for you guys. I think I'm going to leave it here. I really hope I was able to connect to you guys in this reading, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings for you. Bye. Hey Pal 2, if you guys have chosen Remothering, this is going to be your reading on how to heal your father wound. So right away, I'm definitely getting this energy of, I know that this card even came out during my Healing the Mother Wound reading. So if you are drawn to this card, maybe you might want to check that reading out. I did upload that a few months ago, so I might try to look for it and repost it for you guys. But there's definitely this energy of like totally relearning how to do life, relearning what it means to, I don't know, I heard relearning what it means to be a parent, but I'm also hearing like you're just throwing away any conditioning that your father taught you and learning how to do things differently because maybe you just did not agree with his ideology or his way of teaching or the way that he raised you. There's just like some sort of very strong disconnect when it comes to you and your father, and just his values and your values just did not align. So I feel like as you've grown into an adult, you've taken it upon yourself to teach yourself over. There's something here about your inner child as well. Like you're becoming the person that your inner child would have really appreciated. You're becoming the person that you wish that you had when you were growing up. So let's go ahead and read this card for you guys, and then we'll get into the rest of your oracle cards. Okay. So this card asks the reader to bring awareness to their physical and mental health. Reflect on how you've treated your body. It is time to teach or remind yourself what it means to remother yourself. Give yourself the mother you deserve, and more importantly, the mother you need. So in this case, it'd be father, obviously. So give yourself the father you deserve, and more importantly, the father you need. Give yourself the space for full unconditional love and acceptance of your full self. Think of ways to nurture yourself. Treat your body and mind with care. So I'm feeling that for this pile, your father could have been like a very practical person, very logical. He could have provided you with the necessities, you know, like the typical, like, oh, I put a roof over your head, I feed you, I make sure you're alive, like that type of thing. But it's like when it came to nurturing your emotions, I feel like there was a disconnect there. Or maybe there was just, there's just something about like your values just not aligning with your father. It's like you were very confused, I feel, when you were younger, growing up, because like you did not understand why your father could not understand what you needed. It kind of feels like you guys had a very strong self-awareness of what you needed at a very young age, and your father could not provide that for you. He could have been a single father, or he could have been someone who just worked a lot, or maybe this was just the way that he was taught to raise his children. It was a way that he was raised, to just be a provider, to be very practical, very logical, but it's like he didn't really connect with you on a heart level. It's either that or like your values just did not align. Like you just did not agree with the way that he raised you. Let's go ahead and lay out the rest of your cards. Okay, so we have Mother of the Salt Waters, passion, wild love, open your heart, let love in. Yeah, exactly. There's like this part of you where it's like, I feel like you guys naturally, you're very passionate, very artistic, very bold, very creative, very loving. And I feel like maybe your advances towards your father to receive this love were really not received well. There's like this very wild and untempered side of you that I feel like you had to hide from your father. Some of you guys could be water signs. I'm also getting Taurus and Libra, like I'm getting Venus. So some of you guys could have been Taurus, or you could be Taurus and Libra as well, or have those placements in your chart. But yeah, there's just something here of maybe, I don't know, I feel like this pile, I'm not feeling a mother figure either, because I didn't feel that for pile 1. But even if you did have a mother, maybe like neither parent could really understand your passionate side, your wild side, your heart intuitive led part of yourself, they could not connect with that. It feels like you just could not connect to your parents or to your father here. We have take action now. This is a clear and unequivocal message that action on your part is needed now. Manifestation is not simply a process of visioning in and dreaming about your desires. When an opportunity is offered to you, you must also take action, pay attention to the signs, and move forward fearlessly. Yeah, so there could have been this energy of like you were a little lost when it came to how to kind of maneuver through your life, because I feel like your father didn't really teach you like how to go after the things that made you feel happy or good or excited or passionate or inspired. It's almost like maybe you could have let a lot of things fall to the wayside, or you could have missed a lot of opportunities growing up because you didn't know that like if you're very like drawn or passionate towards something that you should go for it. Maybe you were taught the opposite. Maybe you were taught that certain things that made you feel excited or inspired were dangerous for you. Because there's something here about like you guys now understanding that you're allowed to take action towards the things that make you very excited. And again, I'm just being directed back to the passion, the wild love. Open your heart, let love in. This part of you could have been shut down. So I'm seeing here that there's like a heart chakra blockage, where in pile 1 it was solar plexus. Here it feels like heart chakra. Like your heart chakra, it's like your father could not connect to it. So I feel like in turn you kind of you learn to internalize that passionate wild side of you, and in turn because of that you missed out on certain things, or you didn't experience certain things. I'm getting that for some of you, you kind of grew up to be afraid of love, or yeah, I'm not really getting anything else aside from that. Now I got to lay out the rest of the cards, but you could have been afraid of love, or you could have kind of strayed away from situations that made you feel too much emotion. We have I release attachments. When I let go, I create space for something better. Okay, so that kind of explains what I was about to say. Some of you guys could have formed like the wrong type of attachment to people. Like you could have formed a lot of trauma bonds. You could have formed a lot of like, yeah, I'm just getting trauma bonds, like bonds kind of based upon the root and sacral chakras. So like stability or sexuality, or like codependency, but not really love. You have discovery. Yeah, exactly. Look at the heart space. It's like, I feel like you guys are really learning what it means to truly love, not only yourself, but like another person. What it means to truly live in your authenticity, what it means to feel a full range of emotions. I'm also getting, some of you guys could be Capricorn or Aquarius as well. Because there's something here about like there was a big part of your emotions that were shut off for like a good portion of your life, and now you're really learning how to feel all of that again. You're learning who you really are, and you're tapping into that passionate side. You're tapping into that creative side, that artistic side. And then we have Jupiter in Sagittarius with principle, yeah. So that kind of reinforces my feeling that your father was like this very practical, logical type of person. He could have instilled like a very strong sense of morals and ethics within you. He could have taught you like his worldview. For some of you, you could have even traveled a lot with your father, or he could have been, I'm hearing he could have been like a scholar or a teacher of some kind. But again, it's like when it came to your emotions, like that part was missing. That part was very strongly missing here. Let me sit on this one, because this one's a little interesting, because it kind of feels like for a while you didn't necessarily feel like anything was wrong, like with the connection with your father, but at the same time, it kind of took you a while to realize like, oh, like my heart's missing, or like there's a part of me that I'm not allowed to show to my father, or like he doesn't respect that part of me, or he doesn't connect with that part of me. Yeah, and it kind of feels like for some of you guys, again, it's like you just didn't know that that was wrong, or you kind of just thought it was normal until you kind of maybe went out into the real world and grew up a little bit, and you realized that you were a little bit emotionally detached. You didn't care about certain things, or, I mean, not that you didn't care, but it's like you were so far removed from your own emotions that maybe it really disconnected you from forming strong connections with other people. And then that's when you started to realize like, oh, like it's that part of me that I put away such a long time ago, if that makes sense. Yeah, for some of you, like if you were in a 2-parent household, it's like your parents were the same. I'm getting like your parents could have been air signs, or they could have been Capricorn themselves, because there's just something very like practical, very like cerebral about your father or your parents, where like this creative, intuitive, loving side of you cannot be expressed or just was not understood. Like it doesn't feel like abuse, but it just feels like you were not understood. Like there was a big chunk of you that was missing in action for a while. And I feel like now with the take action, now it's like now you know that this part of you is needing to come out, because in order to manifest what you want, in order to receive the opportunities that are coming towards you, you need to actually be on the same wavelength to receive them. So if love is coming towards you, you might perceive that as scary, or you might perceive that as like something's wrong with that other person. But in reality, it's just you're not connected to your heart space, so you don't really perceive that frequency to be something as a positive thing. There's something here about like you guys could be receiving a lot of signs too about something that's about to happen in your life, and you're going to need your heart space for that. Okay. What does pile 2 need to hear when it comes to healing their father wound? I'm getting that a lot of you, when you watch this reading, you're going to be like, I never knew that like I had a father wound. I thought this was just normal, because again, there's like no abuse here, like nothing that's like really horrible that you would categorize as like trauma or something like that. But it's just like, just a disconnect, just a lot of disconnect, a lot of like misunderstanding each other as well. We have the 6 of Wands, we have the 2 of Wands. Yeah, exactly. There's something that you guys could actually be working on or pursuing when it comes to your career that you're about to receive. Yeah, look at this, 8 of Pentacles. You're about to receive some sort of opportunity, or something's going to change in your career. I'm not sure what this has to do with this message though. I don't know why I just heard put a sock in it, and then I heard put your heart in it. So that could be what this is. Whatever you guys are doing, it's going to need, again, it's going to need your heart. 3 of Cups. Yeah, because I feel like you're going to be connecting with a lot of people. The Magician, the 3 of Cups. You're going to be connecting with a lot of people. You're going to be very social, and you really need to be able to meet people on their level. The 3 of Cups is about very lighthearted, compassionate connections and conversations. So I feel like in order for you to step up to this next level in your life, you really need to connect to that part of you. Yeah, 9 of Swords. Queen of Wands. There could even be like a specific person that you have in mind that you know that you need to be present for, and in order to do that, you need to tap into that heart space. So we have Judgment. Yeah, exactly. You guys are being called for something bigger. I feel like you guys are experiencing some sort of little bit of a challenge in your outside world, in your career, but like a positive challenge that's really helping you grow. Death. It's really helping you grow. Yeah, there's just something very strongly coming through about like you just didn't know that anything was wrong with you until you met this person, or until you got this job, or until you had these goals or something. The Emperor, Queen of Swords. Yeah, the World. This was also in pile 1 here. I feel like I said, the connection that you have with your father is very cerebral. It's very logical. It's very practical. I don't really feel like there's anything else much to it. Like you guys are really not like best friends or anything like that. It's more so like you're either acquaintances or you just respect each other. We have Temperance, 2 of Swords. Yeah, I feel like I'm getting this as a message that it's time to look at this. It's time to realize how your own heart being out of the equation is possibly going to get in the way of something. What's this 2 of Swords? Death, yeah. Death and the Queen of Cups. There's like this very strong part of you that wants to come out when it comes to your emotions. Whether it's because you know that it's time to show this part of yourself, or because you know that there's someone outside of you that you wish to share this piece of you with. But all in all, you know, like you know for a fact that whatever's happening in your external reality right now, it's guiding you to grow into this part of you. It kind of feels like this like gentle challenge or push from the universe, where it's like, oh, you want this, pile 2, then you know what you have to do. You know that you have to feel, you know that you have to step into that heart space that you're so either disconnected from or afraid of. Any advice that I can give to pile 2? 5 of Wands. Okay, Tower, and the 9 of Cups. Interesting. Ace of Swords. Queen of Wands, Eight of Wands. There's an element here of like you needing to, I don't know how to say this, but it's almost like you need to rush something, or you need to really like make a decision on the whim, because otherwise you could miss out on an opportunity. Something that you really want. Something that would make you very happy. Something that you know it makes you feel very happy. But again, it's like you keep it inside. You don't really externalize your emotions when it comes to this, but you know that you really need to take action towards something right now. I'm also seeing like, I don't know why I'm getting this message, but if you guys have siblings, I'm kind of seeing that like your siblings feel like you're the one that is going to be successful, or the one that got away in some sense, where like you're going to be the one that heals something, like the cycle breaker in some way. Or they kind of feel like, especially if your siblings are younger than you and they still live with your parents, there's just something here about like, they're kind of happy for you. Like they're happy that you're getting out of this mess. I don't know what that means. You're happy that you're getting out of this mess. So I'm not sure if there was sibling rivalry or what the hell this is, but that's like a side message for somebody. Eight of Swords, Hangman. Yeah, Six of Swords, exactly. Yeah, it's like you could be the oldest sibling and you're getting out of something. You're gonna kind of like, I'm hearing now that you're gonna be able to set the example for your siblings, your younger siblings, because you're gonna be the first one out of the home, the first one to do things a different way, the first one to kind of show your siblings and your family that there is another way to go about things. And I feel like it does start with you moving out and you just starting to experience life in a different way. And that's, again, when you're going to start to realize, which I feel is right now, you're starting to realize that, like, you really need that part of you. You're looking for it. It's like, damn, like, I need this part of me. I've been so disconnected from it for so long. And now I'm realizing that in order to be successful, in order to reach the places I want to go to, in order to be with the person I want to be with, I need to show this part of myself. So that's what I'm saying for you guys. Again, it's a really positive message, actually. I wasn't getting any abuse or anything. I just feel like there's a part that has been missing for quite some time, because it's almost like you were put into this family with this father figure who purposely could not understand you, so that you'd be able to grow into yourself and understand yourself further down the line. There's something here about like you just being a cycle breaker in some way and doing things differently because your father couldn't do that. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it here for you. I really hope I was able to connect to you guys in this reading, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings for you. Bye. Hey Pal 3, if you guys have chosen Ritual, this is going to be your reading on healing your father wound. So I'm kind of feeling, for some of you guys, like this could be the pile where maybe you didn't really have a father figure. You could have been like put up for adoption, or maybe you never knew your father, because there's just this element here of like, even if you did have a father, like he was very scattered. Or maybe you were disconnected from your father at a young age, or you just didn't know who he was. Because there's this energy of like now in your adult life needing to find some sort of stability for yourself, needing to kind of find direction for yourself, because you lacked a masculine energy in your life that kind of showed you how to do life, or showed you how to be a leader, how to be authoritative, just how to take action in life. Because there's just this element of like, I don't know who I am, or I don't know how I should show up in the world. Like some of you guys really did not have a good example of a masculine figure in your life. So you could have lived with your mom, or like I said, you could have just, I don't know, you guys are very disconnected from your father. Like you either don't know him, or he passed away at a young age, or he put you up for adoption, or if he was around you, it's like he was very inconsistent with you. So let's go ahead and see what this card has to say, and then we'll get into the rest of your oracle cards. Okay. So it says here, the act of repetition is ritualistic in nature. Rituals create thought and emotional patterns within us. The patterns that we create are inherently magical and have rippling, radiating, magnetizing effects on how life presents itself to us and how we interface with life in return. Without personal, intentional rituals, we can become subject to the rituals imposed upon us. Yeah, exactly. So it's like if you guys just did not have a healthy form of masculine energy in your life that showed you how to direct your life and how to have stability in your life, it kind of feels like you kind of just learned from the streets, you know, like you learned from your friends, you learned from whoever you were around, like you just picked up different habits from other people because you didn't know like how to be. You didn't know how to show up. It really feels like a lot of you guys could have been very insecure growing up, like especially if you're a guy. I feel like there could be a lot of men in this pile where like you didn't have your father around and you feel insecure. You feel like you were not strong, or you have like this wound in your masculine, definitely. Where it kind of just feels like you didn't really have someone to show you how to be a man, is really what I'm getting. We have ritual is a way to begin to know and find what you seek. May it be cultivating more inner peace, physical health, professional opportunity, etc. Take the time to perform an intentional ritual. Taking the time to perform an intentional ritual will give you the space to influence your life in the direction you desire. So this is talking about like creating your own way of being, right? Even if you're a woman, it kind of feels like if you are a woman, it kind of feels like when it came to the relationship that you had with your dad, like he just didn't really show you, he wasn't consistent with you. Whoever, like if you're a guy or a girl, whoever you are here, like your father was just not consistent. So like you could not depend on him, which in turn, as a woman, it led you to not be able to depend on other men, and it led you feeling like you had this wounded masculine within yourself, where you had to overcompensate and become this masculine figure for yourself, which kind of disconnected you from your feminine side. Or if you're a guy, it just feels like you just did not know how to be a man, and it kind of led you maybe down the wrong path, or to find direction from the wrong people, or you just have this very wounded part of you in your masculine side where you feel like you're not good enough, you're not man enough. You don't know how to be a provider, things like that. And I feel like now you guys are being asked to do it your own way. Like if you're a woman, take it upon yourself to heal from this inconsistency from your father, and realize that you can attract a stable partner, you can attract a stable man, you can attract stable friends even into your life. You don't need to keep attracting people that reflect this wound that you have with your dad, where they're in and out of your life. And if you're a guy, it kind of feels like just ask yourself, like, what does it mean to me to be a man? How can I provide for myself? How can I provide for my loved ones? What do I need to do to take responsibility and authority and to take action and to be who I want to be a good example for other people? So I feel like now it's come to the time where you guys need to take accountability for your own self, because I feel like your father's not around. Like I said, whether he just left you, he passed away, he didn't show up for you. It's now time for you as a grown adult to learn how to do this yourself, in the nicest way possible here. So it says this card acts as a reminder to develop and maintain the rituals and routines that benefit you the most in order to improve your quality of life, and also asks you to take note of the rituals in your life that are not serving you. Yeah. So just going back to what I was saying, it's like some of you guys picked up really bad habits where, like, if you're a guy, maybe you were more in like that wounded masculine where you were, I don't want to say abusive. Maybe you just picked up like certain lower vibrational traits from other men. Maybe you did not respect women. Maybe you were inconsistent yourself with your friends, with your partners. Like you just did not know how to be a stable force in anyone's life because you could not be stable for yourself. And if you're a woman, it kind of just feels like, let's see, what did it say again? Because I feel like I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, take note of the rituals in your life that are not serving you. Yeah, so if you're a woman, like, if you keep realizing that you're attracting men into your life or friends into your life that are not stable in your life, or they just keep leaving you, they never stay with you, your relationships are not working for you, I really feel like you need to take a look at that as well and ask yourself, like, okay, what can I do differently to stop this from happening? Like, what do I need to do? What kind of self-love do I need to give to myself? And what responsibility do I need to take in my own life so that this doesn't happen anymore? So that's kind of what I'm feeling. So, hold on, guys. I'm going to close, put these blinds the other way because there's too much light and I can't see. Yeah, that could be a sign for you guys too. Maybe you guys feel like you need to change something. Well, obviously, change something in your perspective so you can see something a little clearer, because there's just this total confusion when it comes to your dad. Like, you just don't know who he was, or you just could not understand him. He wasn't even around. Some of you just did not even know him. And I feel like you need to kind of maybe turn up the light in your own life to see what you're missing. So We have ride the waves, life lessons and growth. You will get through this. Yeah, a lot of you guys feel very lost. You feel very confused. You feel like you don't have a strong sense of identity because of this. And I feel like I said, you're going to be able to get through this. Like I said earlier, this is a part of your life now where you are being guided to grow through this. You are being guided to learn what you could take from this situation. And I feel like in this pile, it has mostly to do with just taking accountability and becoming that own form of stability and a strong masculine in your own life. We all have masculine energy, so whatever that means to you, to ensure that you are stable and that you are taken care of and that you know how to respect yourself and your life and others around you. I feel like it's just really time for you guys to do that. And it might feel very difficult because a lot of you guys, I feel like you hate your dad for not being there for you, or a lot of you feel like you wish you could have known your dad. Like there's a lot of mixed emotions that I'm feeling in this pile, where you just wish he could be there for you. You don't know why he could not be there for you. You haven't entirely forgiven him. And for those of you where your father passed when you were young, it's just a lot of pain. It's a lot of emotions where it's like you feel like you wish your dad was there to show you how to do certain things and how to be a certain type of person. And he wasn't, obviously. So it's a very painful time period here where you guys are just trying to cut through the fog. You're trying to find your own path and you're trying to find direction in your own life. So we also have gossip and drama. That's interesting. Talking behind people's backs is one of the greatest producers of negative energy, with the potential to affect not only individuals but entire communities. Make a choice not to involve yourself in this. This card also asks that if you are unable to find anything positive to say, then please consider saying nothing. So I'm kind of seeing this as an energy where if you guys obviously lived in like a community, or like your neighbors knew your situation with your parents, with your dad, maybe a lot of people talk shit about it. Like there was definitely a lot of remarks that went on behind your back, conversations that happened behind your back, because and this is for those of you who like, it could go either way, because now I'm hearing like, oh, they don't have a dad. So someone could have definitely, especially like when you guys were kids, like people could have made fun of you for not having a dad, that you didn't have a father figure in your life. If something traumatic happened to your dad, they could have talked about that. There could have been a lot of gossip about that whenever that happened. And if your dad was just not in your life due to his own issues, due to his own maybe addictions or problems, or maybe he was incarcerated, there was talk about that too. So like regardless of what situation happened here, like you were definitely known as like the person without a father, which is kind of really sad to even say here. I just want you guys to know that I'm just relaying this information that I'm picking up. I'm not trying to call anyone out here or make anyone feel bad, but this is just what I'm feeling. And I feel like some of you guys might already even know this. But yeah, it definitely feels like people knew your situation and people would talk behind your back, and maybe they viewed you differently because of it. I don't know why, like people are mean, like kids are mean, definitely. I feel like this could have definitely happened like elementary to high school age. I feel like you guys had a very hard time fitting in with people around you, because there's just this element of like distorted masculine, right? So like if you're a guy, you had this distorted masculine energy where maybe since you did not have a good example of it, you leaned towards your feminine side. So maybe you felt more comfortable around women. And then for the woman here, since you didn't have that strong connection with your father, you sought that out in men outside of you. So maybe you were very comfortable around men. So like people would talk about that. Maybe people would find something to say about like your sexual preference or like about who you were as a person. I don't know. I don't want to say what I'm hearing entirely, but people would definitely make fun of the fact that you didn't know who you were or something like that. I'm also getting that for a few of you, if anybody here, like you could have fallen victim or prey to some sort of like gossip or like peer pressure, and you could have even involved yourself in this gossip, where in turn you started to make fun of others for certain things as well, because you did not want to be seen as the odd one out. So you were like, let me just act like them too, so I'm accepted into this circle or into this community. So that could have been the case for some of you, but it's almost like you were the one being made fun of, but you jumped onto the bandwagon to make fun of others, so that way the spotlight would get off of you. Okay, so we have affirmation here. I courageously say yes to myself on a daily basis. I am nurtured and cared for. Yeah. So again, there's just this energy of like you guys not feeling secure within yourself. And now being able to give that to yourself, being able to give that security and that nurturing and that caring energy to yourself. And I see in this card, there is a balance of masculine and feminine, because we have, I courageously say yes to myself on a daily basis. And that's the masculine energy, where you are confident in yourself. You take accountability. You have authority over your own life, and you are proud of who you are as a person. And then this feminine aspect of you, where it says, I am nurtured and cared for, because you also know how to take care of yourself. Some of you guys could have been orphans, definitely. Like, you guys could not have had either parent around. Or if you had your mother around, she could have also been, she had her own troubles as well. Like, I feel like both of your parents had their issues. My heart goes out to you guys, pile 3. I feel like you were kind of made like the brunt of like some sort of joke for a very long time, and you did not deserve that. I'm not gonna cry though, because I already did my makeup, so no crying. But I really feel for you guys. I feel like you're really just trying to find your way in life, because you did not have a good example. It's almost like in this pile, it's like you kind of were just born and thrown into life. Like, you didn't really have anyone to show you how to do anything. And it's been very difficult for you. And I'm very proud of you for being here today. I'm very proud of the person you have become today, even if you feel like you're not who you want to be yet. I'm very proud of you guys for just continuing to show up for yourself. Feeling lost, feeling confused, feeling like you don't know what you're going to do next. I'm just very glad that you're here with me, because I feel like it's been very hard for you. Yeah, I feel like a lot of you could have, like I said in the very beginning, like if you turn to the streets, or if you turn to friends for assistance, or like people that were older than you, but maybe just did not have the right perspective on life, I feel like you definitely took on different projections and ways of living that were a little bit low vibrational. But I feel like you're coming out of that. I feel like you're growing from that. I feel like right now in your life, you're really clearing out your life, and you're trying to find peace. We have rejection. Yeah. Rejection. Going along with the gossip and drama, like you were definitely, like I said, just not, you didn't fit in anywhere. Like a lot of you guys did not fit in with any friend group, and you kind of just felt like the loner. People made fun of you. People saw you as like a weird person, because again, maybe you were a man who leaned more towards the feminine, or maybe you could be like, I don't know, maybe you could be gay, lesbian, bisexual. You could be part of the LGBTQ community, and people could have made fun of that. You're a woman who's more masculine or something like that. Like, you just did not fit in with the people around you, because it's like people could tell that you had a disconnect from yourself, that you didn't know who you were, and they really just made fun of that. And I don't like that energy. But we have Moon in Aquarius with independence. Yeah. So I really feel like a lot of you guys raised yourself. You raised yourself. If you have any siblings, you raised your siblings, but I'm not really feeling any of that energy. I'm feeling more so like your own energy, that you really learned how to live on your own. You learned how to take care of yourself. You're still in the process of doing that. And I feel like now that you're older, you're definitely okay with being alone. Like, being alone doesn't really bother you. I feel like you guys do kind of wish that you had certain types of connections in your life, or you seek certain connections from time to time. But I really feel like in this pile, you either isolate on purpose because it's helpful for you to heal and to grow and to just get a better understanding of who you are. But at the same time, I feel like you don't really need a lot of outside interaction. I feel like you're just very comfortable being alone because of the way that you grew up. Like, you kind of just learned to fend for yourself. And I feel like, especially if you don't have either parent in your life, like you kind of just grew up like on the streets, or like you just grew up fending for yourself. It's like, it's very hard for you to find people to connect with outside of you that also had that similar lifestyle, because I'm hearing like you're the ones that made it out. Especially if you like lived in the hood or something, or like you, I don't know, it's like, again, like you were just around some very low vibrations growing up. It's like you are the one that has made it out. You have broken that cycle from wherever you grew up. And I feel like now that you're out of that, it's very difficult for you to find people that you connect with, because a lot of the times, not always, but a lot of the times when children grow up without their parents, it's because it's due to like something going on with their parents that has to do with like addictions, or I just lost my train of thought, but I think you guys know where I'm going with this. Like, usually there is some sort of like poverty or illness or addiction that takes place where it's like there's a lot of people in the same vicinity, in the same demographic that are experiencing the same thing. And I feel like now that you are healed past that, you no longer connect to those types of people anymore. So it's hard for you to make friends, but you're also okay with that. Yeah, you guys are definitely the ones that made it out. You're definitely out, at least on your way out of something. I feel like this is all meant to teach you. I don't know what it's trying to teach you, to be honest. I feel like it's different for everybody, but this is all meant to show you that you are able to make it out of your life circumstance, even though it could have been very difficult and very confusing and you had no direction. But I feel like, yeah, I feel like now you guys are just, you're in this process of coming out of that. I don't know what else to say, but let me see. What else you guys need to hear? Yeah, 8 of Cups, 10 of Cups. Some of you guys are like, it's just this element of not having a family. Like you guys just feel like you don't fit in anywhere. And if you do want your own family, maybe you're unsure of how that's going to happen. We have the 9 of Pentacles. Again, we get this energy of you guys being alone a lot. So I feel like a lot of you guys could have been either Capricorn, Aquarius, Virgo. Like you're okay with being alone. The Chariot is what it's showing me. The Hierophant, the Hangman. You've accepted this. Like if you are going to be alone for the rest of your life. I don't know, that's kind of what it feels like. Well, but look at that. We get the 2 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles. I feel like you tell yourself that. It's like you feed yourself the narrative of I'm okay with being alone forever. And maybe you are. Maybe some people here, maybe you are meant to be alone for the rest of your life, but I'm not sure of that entirely, because I personally believe that we're all meant to have human connection. Even if you don't get married or like have a partner, you don't need to have like a romantic partner, but I feel like there is some sort of connection in your life that is going to make some sort of difference for you. Even if it's just a friend, even if it's like a coworker, but I feel like you are meant to have this. And I feel like there is a deep part of you, like no matter what you tell yourself, there is a part of you here that craves like stability. You crave the love of another person. 5 of Pentacles, 9 of Wands. Maybe it's hard for you to see that right now. Maybe you feel like you don't deserve it, but you do. Everyone deserves it. We have Empress, the Magician, 5 of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like you guys are still trying to find your way. You guys are still trying to like be whole within yourself first. I feel like you're well on your way to that though. Like you're very close to that, especially with the 9 of Pentacles coming out as your first card. You're almost to this point where you can start dating, or you can start thinking about stability within a connection, because you're healing yourself. 8 of Cups, Page of Swords, yeah. High Priestess. Again, I feel like you just made peace with the life that you used to live. A lot of you guys, you really came from humble beginnings, and it taught you a lot about yourself, and it taught you a lot about what you want out of life. I feel like with this High Priestess too, like you guys could have a very, I didn't even mention this, 3 of Wands, but you guys could have like a stupidly insane intuition because of the amount of time that you spent on your own. I feel like this has been very well developed within you. You guys have a lot of hope for the future. I just keep hearing like I made it out. What's that song? I just heard it and it just left my mind. It's a R. Kelly song. I know a lot of people don't like R. Kelly anymore, but because of all those things going on with him. But I don't know. I can't think of it. You guys probably know what I'm talking about, but it's like you guys made it out. You made it out of poverty. You made it out of addiction. You made it out of a very low vibration that you grew up in that was not your fault. But you guys are coming out of that, and you have a lot of hope for the future. It really feels like you guys have dug yourself out of the trenches, and a lot of it is due to your own intuitive gifts that have led you down this path, that have pulled you out of something, I should say. Clarify the High Priestess. 4 of Cups, 10 of Swords, Queen of Swords. Yeah, it's like you took it upon yourself. You're like, I'm not going to feel bad for myself anymore. Temperance. I felt bad enough. I felt bad for myself long enough. I've already gone through the worst of it, and I feel like now you just learn from it. Like it's kind of hardened you in a way as well. Like life has hardened you, where like things don't really faze you as much, or it's very hard for things to affect you because your childhood or growing up was so painful and so disappointing that at this point you just have a very thick skin. What advice can I give to pile 3? The Devil, okay, and the Ace of Cups, and the Emperor. It's kind of giving me like Beauty and the Beast energy here. I'm not saying that you guys are like the beast or anything, but maybe you could identify with that archetype of the beast, where there's still this part of you that it could be still attached to those like that lower self, the shadow self side of you, that could be very strong within you. But there's also this like beautiful, like illuminating light surrounding you guys, where it's like you guys are meant for more. Ace of Cups, clarify that please. Yeah, Four of Wands. I really feel like you guys are meant for more here. And it has a lot to do with either like starting a business or being in like a family unit. Nine of Wands. I feel like, again, Ace of Swords, Hangman. Some of you guys might not be entirely ready for it, but again, there is that part of you that really desires it. And I feel like it is for you down the line if you want that. I feel like there's just a little bit more of like that shadow side you need to work through, because I feel like that part of you where it's like, I want to be alone forever and I don't need anybody and life sucks, that could still be a little bit prevalent within you. But I feel like you're really trying to heal that, because I feel like once you cross that threshold and heal that part of you, there's something very beautiful waiting for you. And it could be in the form of a partner, it could be in the form of a business, or making something out of your life experiences, or having a family, something like this, if you really want it. Two of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles. I feel like right now you guys are showing me that you're working on like a skill set. Yeah. Eight of Pentacles, or something that you're trying to build your way up with. So you guys could have recently like started a new career. You could be working on some creative skills that you have with other people, but there's something that you're really trying to work on right now. And it has a lot to do, like, I feel like in this pile, you guys could have even had like a late start to life. You could have been a late bloomer, where like you really didn't know what you wanted to do with your life until you got older, because you experienced so much trauma. And that really does happen. When we're solely focused on surviving and making sure that we're staying alive and that we're okay because we experience life different from others, it's kind of hard for us to think about a career. It's kind of hard for us to start life the same way that other people do, or follow the same timelines that other people do. So I feel like you guys could be a little bit older, or you could be considered like a little bit older for what you're doing right now. Like maybe you guys could be, I don't know, it could be any age really, but you guys could be like later 20s, 30s, 40s, even later. You could be way older than that too, but it's like you're restarting your life over right now. And I feel like before you even think about like stability in the long run with another person, you're really trying to find that within yourself. So it's a really beautiful energy. I'm very proud of you guys. Again, I feel like you did not give up on yourself, and I feel like you have really allowed life to give you another chance here. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave this here for you. I really hope I was able to connect to you guys in this reading, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings for you. Bye.